Hello world, welcome back to Code with Sam, and in this video I'll be showing you how to program an AI chatbot with just JavaScript and HTML. So let me show you an example. It's telling me to type my name so I can start chatting with it. So let me go by typing my name. So I get a welcome message telling me that I'm welcome to Code chatbot, and it's telling me that I can ask a question like so let me say write a basic HTML code for me. So let me ask, what's your name? Hey Sam, I'm not sure I understand your question. It's because I haven't programmed it to respond to that. So let me ask, what's your age? I already programmed it to respond to age. So it said 20. Where are you from? Where, let me say, are you from Nigeria? Because I'm from Nigeria. It said yes. So without wasting your time, let me take you through how to create something beautiful like this. Usual Before we start programming anything, we first need to have a visualization of what we are trying to put out to the world. So this a visualization of what we I'm sorry about my pronunciation. I'm from Nigeria, I'm from Africa, so just bear with me. So this is what we are trying to put out to the world, and it's, if you check the arrangement, it's having like let me divide it into three parts for you so it could be easier. We have like three parts in this makeup. We have the head here, we have the chat body which is scrollable, and we have this place which we can input, which is taking the input of the user. So programming this, coding this it's going to be simple coding this, since we already know the parts that we'll be working with. So let's start writing our basic HTML code. So I'll start like so before that, we need to save our HTML file. That's another thing we should take into consideration, so our file won't go missing after we've done long coding. So let me name this chatbot.html, and as you know, the extension for writing HTML file is HTML. That's hypertext markup language, HTML. Okay, this it's here. Okay, so after HTML tag we have the head, and after the head we have the body. I'm sorry if you are not familiar with all this, you should check my previous video. I made some little explanation about HTML and some little tags like this. So I don't want to waste your time, so I want to really go quick. And I will not be adding an external link to this file. I will be creating on my styling inside one page like this. So the next thing is to just work with our makeup. So we have okay, let me put every component in a div to hold all the components together. So let me give it an ID, because ID is very easy to reference. Let me call this container, and inside our container we want to have extra three div elements, which is the head, the chart body. We can just leave it as chart like so, and we have the footer. So like so the chart is not taking any big, so it's not taking too much element, just the header. So let's just name it code with farm AI chat boots, just like so. And yeah, our chart, we can leave it like that. So our footer should have an input. So this input, we want to give it a placeholder. I'll give it a value of start typing, like so. So after the input, we want to have a button which we want to call it send, to send our message. Then okay, in this let's just make a meta tag. So for mobile mobile responsiveness, so let's create a meta tag. The name of the meta tag will be viewport, and the content is going to be width is going to be width is equal to device width, and initial scale is equal to 1. So just like that. Okay, so let's start tiling without wasting time. So we want the container to have an absolute width and absolute height, like taking out the space of the body. So we want to say width 100% viewing width, and so for the height 100% viewing height. So let's give it a background of white, or let's give it a background of red. I want you to see something real quick. If you check sorry, this is not what we are working with. Let me change the path to, let me copy this and put it here. And the name of our file that I will create is chatbot.html from the desktop. I can actually open it from the desktop. I just leave it like this. So this is what we've done so far, and you can see there's border around it. If you check my previous video, also you know how to take out those border. So to take out those margin and padding, we just query all the element and say padding 0, margin 0, and border box sizing should be border box sizing, we want to give it border box, so like so. So if you refresh our page, the extra margin and extra border are gone. So the next thing we want to do is okay, let's remove red from this place. I just want you to see the extra padding and margin that's around the page. So let's work with our head. Let's query our head, the charts and the footer together, because they'll be having the same weight, which is 100% of the appearance width, 100% of the parent width, like that. So, and after that, we want to create them individually. We want to style them individually. So for the height, so we want to style them individually. So like so. So what I'm just doing is I'm styling my HTML element. So yeah, we want to style the heights. So the heights, I want to give it 20%, just like the filter too. So I'm giving this 60%. So, and to, if I refresh, you won't see anything on this one. You won't see much different. Because but I think this should already go down the what's it called, the chart, because I've given it a value of 60%. So width. I think that's the spelling of width. I'm not mistaken, that's the spelling of width. So let me give this. Okay, let me check again to see it's not really working. Let me give it a border, bottom 1 pixel solid hash, like that. So okay, I've seen what was wrong. I'm querying the width of the chart instead of the height. So let me give the chart to border bottom of. So that's why it wasn't working. The query here was width instead of height. So this is how it's looking now. So let's query the head once more time. So let's give it a display flex, justify content. We want to take it to center, and we want to align all the items in the element center. Align items, yes, just like that. So let's do that for the footer also, but we won't be aligning all the items center. I want to say justify content and space between our element. So the next thing to do is to just query our inputs and our button element. So like so. So I want to give it a padding of 20 pixel. So let me check that to see. So I think that's not bad. So let me query them one after each other again. So I want to give this okay, I made a mistake there again. I want to give this a width of let me give it a width of 20% also, and this should have a width of, let me give it a width of 60% or 70%. So let me see how it's looking. So it's not looking too bad. So but I think the justify whatever is not working, justify align items center. Okay, I didn't give it a display of flex. So everything should work. So let me just give it space around instead of space between, because I want space around the element, not just between them. So this is not bad. So I think the next thing we should do is just work with our message element. So let's work with the message element. I'm creating a message div. So let me give this a class name, because we'll be having more than one message item. So let me call it message, and inside this message we want to have another item, which is going to be message is going to be message details and message sender. All these are just teaching you how to make some necessary styling. If you already know about styling and all these parts, you can just forward the video to the JavaScript part and watch how the JavaScript coding was made. So for people who's new to CSS styling, so you can just follow up about the CSS styling and learn a bit of styling. So message elements will the style like this. So let's give it a margin. We want it to be away from all the charts. Let's give it a margin of 10 pixel. And message details, let's give it a background of green, because I'm from Nigeria. All my color will be green. So background of green, and let's give it a padding of 10 pixel, as well as then let's pad the sender. That should be okay. So the next thing we want to do is we want to because we'll be floating this. There's one style element in CSS which is float. So I'll show you what the float does real quick after styling all this. So style clear both. So I'm clearing both float from left and right. So let me create another element. Let's call it left. Another style tag, let's call it that left, and let's call this right. So left, you want to float left, and right, you want to float right, like that. And I'll show you why I'm using floats, because I think it's a bit easier. So let me write our message here. This I'm just typing, let's just say boots. So if I refresh this, you wouldn't see any meaningful content. Like, okay, that's why I need to add floats, because this message element is taking a lot of space with the padding that I give to the message details and the margin as well. So I need to float them so that they won't have all div at default placement have 100% width. So, and we don't want to give our element, our message div, a kind of size, because we want to make the size of the div to be equivalent to a bit to the size of the message we have inside the message div. So that's why we'll be using the float to just reduce the size of the div. So here we can just say left, depending on where you want the your message to float to. So if you refresh now, you can see that fixed our problem. So that's that. So now we are clearing the floats from the page, because if you don't clear these floats, any other items you put underneath this div is going to be floating to the same area that the previous item is flowing to. So that's that. So let's give it a bit more life. Let's make the border, let's change the border radius, like here to be a bit curved, here also should be a bit curved, and here should have a bit of curve. So to do that, let's give it a border radius. Message details, let's give it a border radius of if I just give it a border radius of 20 pixel, you see what happens. All the edges will be affected, but we only want this edge, this part, and this part. So this part is the first figure. Let me show you something. So if I just say 20 pixel, so if I don't add any element, if I don't add any other figure to this place, any other measurement to this place, if I just leave it as this single 20 pixel, it's going to take all the it's going to give all the elements 20% border radius. But if I now go ahead and space and put, let's say, 0, so what this is going to do is that it's going to give this place a border radius, and I think this place, let's see, okay, this place and this place, just like as I said, it's going to give this place and this place a border radius, because let me explain it to you further again. This first part is referring to this part, and this second part is referring to this part. So this is the first part. second part, third part, and the last part. So if you go further and just query it like this: 20 pixel, 20 pixel, 20 pixel. So you are telling the div to have a border radius here, have a border radius here, have a border radius here, and don't have a border radius here. So this is the first part, the second part, the third part, and the last part. So if you refresh now, you can see just exactly what we want. So that's that. So the next thing we want to do is on the left side. So let's give it a color. Message details. Let's give it a color of white color. White. So that's green and white for me. So let's create another style, another CSS style for the boots, or the left, the right part. So let's say message, or let's say boots message, so that we'll know it's for the boots. So let's say boots message. You want to copy all this to this place. So but we'll be changing some other things. We don't want to make the background like that. I want to give it the background of ash, padding of 10 pixel, not bad. And color, we want to make the color a bit blackish color. So if you understand what I did here, you should be able to figure out what to do here also, because in the boots message, the message that will be coming up from here, we want to use a border radius from this part, this part, this part, and leave this part empty. So you should know this is the first part, the second part, the third part will be 0, and the fourth part will be 20 pixel also. So we just need to give this third part 0 pixel. So if you it won't work because I have not put the so let me just copy this message one more time. Let me just copy it to this place, and let me give this right, and just say boots message like that. So this is it, and I think there's a little bit of mix up here. Okay, it's the message details that I should, the message details, instead of removing instead of putting it here, I should put it at this part, message details. So let's work with that and see again. So that has fixed our problem. But you can see this name is not floating to where we want it to float to, so we can just float that to the sender name. We can float that to right part, and we can just clear the floats at the end of the query like that. So that should fix our problem. So this all we'll be doing for this normal styling, and we are done with styling. The next thing is just to work with our JavaScript and give it JavaScript live. So stay with me until the next episode, where I'll be putting all together the JavaScript coding, or the JavaScript programming. Code with Sam, and in this episode I'll be putting together the JavaScript part. So without wasting your time, let's go to the business of the day. So first we create a variable. We name this let's first get the chart. We'll be working with the chart. Okay, let me take this out, all this message part. Let's take them out of the chart, and let's comment this part outside the HTML. So to comment, you just need to put open and close the tag and write for just like that. So put your element there, that's comment. So let's work with the chart. So the chart element first. So var id is var chart is equal to document dot get element by id. and the ID we are working with is chat. So we need to get some few other items, like, okay, let me give this an ID of btn, an ID of input, ID equal to input. So we say input is equal to, let's get this part, it's equal to input like that, and btn is equal to btn. I think that's the only elements we'll be getting from the DOM. So let's create more variables, which will be message count. Message count, it's going to be 0, and temp user message. So let's give that to let's put that to null, and let's just start creating our function. So let's first create a function called boot function, boot reply. So this boot reply is going to be taking, it's going to be taking an argument, so but it's going to be the place that will put, that will program all our replies. So first let's switch the message count. So switch message count. So case 1, we want to reply break. We want to, case 0 we want to do something, case 1 we want to do something, and I think that should be all in default. We also want to have the default value. So case 1 we just want to say boot great, want to return boot greetings, and like so. And case 1 we want to reply boot, okay, boot greetings, and let's make this one boot greetings and boot welcome. Or we can just, there's no way you do it that is not okay. Let's make this boot welcome too, it's not bad. Boot welcome at 0, then at the default value we want to get response, boot response, So that's that. So the next thing we want to do is, before the boot reply, we want to show something on the screen, and before we show something on the screen, we want to disable the user input, so that the user won't send too many messages, so that the boot won't get confused on which message to reply on at which point. So we said we'll get this input and say disabled is equal to true. So like so, let's first disable, then let's get a okay, let's put the disable parts in the other function, which will be maybe the boot greeting, boot reply, and whatsoever. So boot greetings, let's create a function called boot greetings function. Boot greetings. So boot greetings, we want to just give let's create a message. You want to give message is going to be whatever message that you want. So this boot greetings, let's disable the user input, and let's set the message to whatever we want. Let's say welcome to boot chat. Type your name to start chat. type your name to start chat. Then so before each uh, before each display, we want to first show the user that our bot is typing. So let's create another variable, or let's create a function that return function boot message body. So this boot message body will be returning a template, an HTML template. So it's going to take a parameter of the inputs that we want the boot to display, and it's going to return an HTML template. So I think that should be the right. This should be this one that we want to use for the boot. Let's copy this and let's just paste it here. So we don't want it to be like this. Let's just put everything on a straight line. If you to solve this problem, just put it on a straight line. It's going to solve this problem like so. And finally, so this part, let's remove this part and just give it whatever we want to give it, like so. So that's what we want the boot message function to reply. So we just want to say we already get the chat okay, also let's create a function instead of writing in HTML like that. So function right message, it's going to be to take a parameter of message. Then we want to say chat dot inner HTML is equal to chat dot inner HTML plus message. So, and after this after writing the message, we want to scroll. After writing the message, in case our message has gone out of scope and we want to scroll to the last message, we can do that with the offset top, the scroll top is going to be the chat scroll height. Scroll height like that. So the boot greetings, we want to go with the message. First we want to go with the message and say, let's first set it to typing. Let's say write message. Boot greeting is write message. Let's create a function also to say our boot is typing. So function boot is typing. I just want to create some functions so that I won't be repeating some things. So that's the essence of using functions, to stop us from repeating things that we could have avoided repeating. So boot typing is going to take a parameter write message. Okay, write message, and let's use this for boot typing because I want to let's say the message is going to be this part. There's a reason why I'm using this, because I want to add some other elements to this place. I want to add something like temp, and I want to give it an ID, and I'll give it an ID of so whenever we are saying boot is typing, we want to remove the typing part later on. So don't let us give it an ID, let us leave it as temp. So we just be removing, or let's give it an ID of temp. So we'll be removing the ID because it's easy to work with one single ID. So let's just say temp ID is temporary. So that's the difference. That's how I'm using the boot typing. So, and instead of you want to say typing. like so, typing, and the sender is actually boots, like so. And we want to write this to the user, so boot typing, and let's remove function, remove temp. We want to remove the temp message too after some particular of time. So let's remove temp messages. Let's say document dot get element by id dot remove. So that will actually remove our element. So let's get the id elements, like so. Id document dot get element by id dot remove. So that will remove our temp. So where are we? Okay, boot typing. This is where we were before. So boot greeting, we want to first echo out boot typing, then we move it from we want to say, okay, we want to disable the user input. We want to say boot typing, and we want to set timeout. Timeout and time interval is almost the same, but the difference is that timeout doesn't work instantly. Timeout take a specific amount of time before it actually gets called. So set timeout, we want to call the function at exactly 2 seconds after this function is initiated. So the function I want to call after this this typing is to remove temp. So you want to remove the temp message. So boot typing, we want to remove temp, and we want to also display something like this. We want to also, let me just put in the function like this. Let me use an arrow function, like so. Boot typing, and you want to say remove temp and say write message like this. So these are boot greeting. Welcome to our boot chat. Type a name to start chat. So when we start, if our okay, let's just return this boot reply on creation of the page. So let's try that and see boot typing. So the boot greeting, okay, it should give us a message, write message. Okay, we didn't actually, okay, write message. I've already gotten. Okay, we haven't written our this part, the user message body. Let's create a user message body. User message body, so that later on we'll work with that part that isn't showing us any message. So user message body. So let's just clear the line and put them in a straight line. So here will be username, and we have not created the variable for username. We'll create that now. And this place will be our hi. So let's create the user name now. So username will be null at first. Username is equal to null. So if message count is 1, we want to set our username to be user temp message, because that's the message that is inputted, and that's the message that the user has input at the first the first time. So the next thing we are trying to work is the boot typing is not actually bringing out what we want it to bring out. That's welcome to our boot chat, this part. So by message is got to okay, we want to return white message instead of those empty. So instead of okay, just like that, let's see what okay. So we want to write message with boot message body. So let's say write message like this. You can actually create a variable with this one, just writing it in a straight line so that it's going to save us a lot of time. So welcome to our boot chat, type your name. So let's get this input also, and let's add an event listener to it. No, it should be button. So okay, actually when the boot stop typing, you want to put this to disable first. So let's add our button to, let's add an event listener to our button. Add event listener. So click function. So whenever our submit button is clicked, we want to check if the input value length is if input dot value dot length is greater than 0. Let's first check if that's working, because sometimes I'm not actually sure about the spelling of length. So let's check. Okay, our disable and enable button is working. Okay, I think that's working. So if the input user value is greater than 0, we want to increment message count and take the user input to, let's do this like this, message if user like that is greater than 0, you want to increment message count. You want to put the input to this user temp input. This user input value should be temp input value. We want to remove that from the screen. So no, okay, we should assign the temp user message to the input value, like so. So the next we want to do is to get the user response. So we just want to return boot reply like this. So and I think I'm making this a bit difficult. Okay, let me just go with the way I'm programming it. So boot typing, where are we? Remove and put written is at input. So we want to get boot reply. So we want to get boot reply after we input our message and did all this, and we want to take the message input value to be 0, and get our boot reply. So at each time we are getting the boot reply, it's going to work out with this. So let's work on boot welcome message. So boot welcome message should this boot greeting, you can actually copy this for boot welcome message. Boot welcome message can be just the same way like that. So the next thing we want to do is just welcome the user. So we want to welcome him with his username. So we want to say welcome to our boot chat, and let's add the username. Let's say welcome to our chat boot Samuel. Let's now tell him ask any question. So I want to write that also and get a response. So and after that, let's work with let's actually see what will happen. Welcome to our chat. Type your name to start chat. Let me say Sam. Say welcome to our chat with Sam. Ask me any question. So but we want to also get the user inputs to this part when the user type in something. We just don't want to leave it empty like that. So let's first increment that here, and before we reply, so now we'll check if message count is greater than 1, then that's the only time we want to display the user message to the screen. So let's check out this place before we okay, I think let me put this here. I think I'm looking at where I should put the message count. So message count can be here, then boot reply, then at this place before the message count we want to check if if message count is greater than 0 before we increment it. If the message count is greater than 0, that's the only time we want to return the user message to the screen. So and it's going to be temp message, user temp message, because that temp message will change later. So we want to write that to the screen. You can see the function is saving us a lot of time of repeating stuff. So let's just work it out like this. So the message count is greater than 1, that's the only time I want to return the user message. Let's try that out and see. Okay, it's telling me to enter my name. Okay, now let me write something. It's going to actually show on the screen. So that's that. And why we are not getting any response from the boot is because we've not programmed the boot to actually give us a response. So let's program the boot to give us a response. I think that will be the last part and the final part of this video. So let's create a function to here. Function boot response. So boot response, let's take argument of disabling this part to, and let's say boot is typing, just like that, and let's set timeout just like this. Now we have done. So we want to remove temp and we want to do some query like so. So disable first. So instead of just giving this message, you want to actually so let's create some constants here that we'll be working with for our response. And so let's say constant let's call this ask. So this will be what the user can ask, or what the user asks actually. Let's make it an array of array. So let's just give it array of array like that. So it can be any number of array that you want. So this part, let's say, oh, if the user asks how old are you, and if he asks similar question to that again, like what's your age, or he asked something like let's leave it at this because we want to work with so many. So let's give it like a. If you have something like a, hi, hello, talk to me. Or if these are typing something like good morning, good afternoon, or good day, you want to respond with something, or these are ask something like what country are you from? You what country are you from? What's your nationality? And something like what else again can do that in this way? What's your country of birth? So now let's create a constant for the response too. So let's say constant response is going to be an array too, but it's going to be an array of string. So the first question is how old are you? You want to respond with maybe 10 years, or let's say I am 10 years. So if the user type in hey, you want to respond with hey, then plus the username. I want to say hey, the username. So if the user asks something like good morning, you want to say hi, good day. So if the user asks what country are you from, because I'm from Nigeria, we just want to say Nigeria, like so. So if you count it, we have 1 2 3 4 3 ask query, and we have 1 2 3 4 3 response query like that. So if we go back to our response, boot response, so we can just say we use for loop, for loops for this. So for hi, for let I equals 0, if I is less than if I is less than ask length, okay, if I is less than ask dot length, then I want to say I plus plus. Then I want to query this again because it's an array inside of it's an array of an array. So let's say if let b equal to 0, if b is equal to ask I dot length, we want to increment b. So now let's work with each item in the array. So let's say if ask I b dot to lower case dot includes user temp, user message temp. If it includes user message temp, so we want to return something else. We want to return something, so let's still use this like this. So let's say message temp is, the initial message should be hello, hi. Let's still use the name, the username. I just want to make it a bit interesting. So hi, username, I don't seems to under your question. So we can remove that part by using arrow, this string like this, because if you remove this part, it's going to mess up your string. So if you add it back, it's going to make that work out like that. So this would be our initial response if if the condition wasn't met in the loop. So but if the condition is met, we want to just say message is equal to message is equal to, we query the ask, so we just want to say message is equal to response array index. So we just want to say message is equal to response dot the response array index of hi. So and here we just want to say write message, right? But it shouldn't be boot message body, it should be user message body. Yes, okay, it's boot message body because it's the boot that is responding. So it's going to be write message boot, and once I disable it, it's got to false like that. So actually let's try it out and see now. Sam, what's your age? I'm 10 years old. How old are you? I'm 10 years old. So there's a little mix up here. So I need to query this chat from here, the chat div, and give it overflow. Why it should be hidden or auto. Let me give it auto. So overflow, why should be auto. So let's work with that again. How old are you? Where are you from? Okay, because I don't think we program something like that. Where are you from? Are you from Nigeria? We didn't program something like that. What's your nationality? So let's just copy and paste one of the things that will actually program in. Let's say talk to me. Hey, no. So this no means username is not actually set, but it was okay. I think it was set from the beginning. So why is it telling us that it's not set? Because I can still get the username saying Sam at this point. So hey, Okay, so let's put this part. Yeah, it's telling me that username is not set at that point, and it's actually right. Let's put all this part at this end at the boot response. So yeah, let's put all this part here like so. So it should work great now. So that's how it is. So subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and like this video if you love what you see. And if you have any question regarding this, you can put them in the comment section below.